that they had there with no outs against Pickens, and then, of course, didn't end up scoring in the entire game. Had just 2 more hits on the evening. All 4 of them yesterday were singles. So Sierra Sacco struck out twice to go with that single. Sends this down the left field line, and she falls behind in the count 0-2 to the freshman pitcher from East Aurora, New York, Aaron Newer. This is a really interesting matchup between these two. One has played a ton of college softball. Sierra Sacco has been at multiple schools. She has been better and better, it seems like, as her career has gone on. And then you have Aaron Newer, who is having a fantastic freshman season, but still kind of getting an early taste of SEC play. Looking for her first strikeout. That goes upstairs to Sacco for ball 1.
A lot of brilliant movement from Newer. You'll see her challenge up at the eyes, climbing the ladder.
Tries to go inside, but runs a little too close for ball 2.
There's not a lot of fear in this arm. I think that that's the trend for Tennessee freshmen. A fearless and aggressive young group.
This is hit deep to right center field, and that is a home run to start the game for Sierra Sacco. Fell behind 0-2, but battled back, and Gabby Leach barely even jogged in that direction. That was a no-doubter from Sacco, so it takes them all of 1 batter to eclipse their runs total from yesterday.
I mean, this is a senior bat that before this season, she said, I want to be a home run hitter. She knew this was out the second she trotted out of the box. So much swagger here. Sacco is used to, in all of her career, 4 years being speed-driven, short game driven, pounding the ball into the ground. That was exactly what she was at La Tech and transferring over to Mississippi State. And the numbers have told the story for her. Last season, a .347 hitter, 2 home runs, 19 RBIs. This season, almost a .500 hitter. That was her 7th bomb and 36 RBIs.
209th consecutive start for Sierra Sacco, so one of the most reliable players you could possibly find to go along with the ridiculous talent that she is. Sam Ricketts said she's happy. She's finally kind of getting the recognition that she should have probably had all 4 years of her college career, even when she was at the smaller program at Louisiana Tech.
And she's a spark plug at the top of this order. To me, that feels like a huge message to Tennessee.
This is hit hard. Barbary is her protector behind her this year, and she's having a career season.
This feels like a message. This feels like a response from Mississippi State offense. They get run ruled in game 1. Their day, or their night rather, ends early. And at the top of this inning, 2 back-to-back bombs by, I think, 2 of the most dangerous bats for Mississippi State. You know, yesterday, Chucky, we already had a wild first inning in the way of illegal pitch calls, reviews, base running mistakes, errors on the field. And the drama so far today has been with the long ball.
Big swings from Barbary. That's her 8th. You mentioned Sacco. That was her 7th. And now, how does this freshman Aaron Newer settle back in? She had 1 SEC start a couple weekends ago against Arkansas, gave up 8 hits, 6 runs in just 3 1/3, but she's been really good in relief in SEC play against Georgia and Oklahoma, 6 innings and hasn't allowed a run. And you know what those 2 offenses are capable of, so she's had success in conference, but this is just her 2nd SEC start and so far not going to plan.
Yeah, Newer had a no-hitter against Bethune-Cookman back early February when this season started. Her first career start. It's a pretty big deal, but you know, this arm throws 70 miles an hour, and when you have that type of velocity, you have to be extremely smart with location, with spin, with the approach. And when we had a chance to talk with Karen Weekly, it comes down to a belief factor for this freshman. She has to know that her stuff is that good.
Edwards through the 5-6 hole. She gets it going here with nobody out. They're one hit away from their total yesterday.
This is up in the zone. Let her high over the meat of the strike zone. Kylie Edwards able to roll this through the 5-6 hole.
Now Lexi Sosa, and just more power in the Mississippi State order. Sosa, their home run leader, with 9 on the season in her 6th year of college softball. 0 for 2 with a strikeout yesterday. That misses inside for ball 2.
This is a deep pitching staff too. That was another thing that Coach Weekly had talked to us about, is the fact that the potential of this staff is endless as long as they can focus. Focus and get the job done.
Sage Margetko already warming up in the Tennessee bullpen. Margetko started 2 games last week. She started game 1 against Oklahoma. Pickens came in relief in the 3rd inning and went the rest of the way. Started game 2 against Oklahoma as well.
How about that pitch, Chucky? A 3-0 count. She goes to the off speed. That's a lot of confidence and a change of speed there, specifically for a freshman that's already been rattled through 3 hitters.
Fouled back to bring the count full.
Yeah, not sure if that was a hit and run or just an attempt for stolen base there, but Edwards in motion over at first.
It's 4 for 4 on the season. Doesn't go this time, and that's fouled away again by Sosa.
Sixth-year senior in Lexi Sosa.
What would have been your advice from your senior self to your freshman self when you were in college? What would you like to know?
Take a deep breath, relax. There's a huge emotional component to this game. And I think something that Lexi Sosa does so well is she gets off the emotional roller coaster and just kind of quietly does her job. You notice that she is just battling at the plate. This is without a doubt, absolutely the fastest hands in this starting 1 through 9. A very short, compact swing. She's quick through the zone. I mean, this is a young woman that's 23 years old, right? She's the oldest on this roster and has so much maturity and skill set at the plate. That's the maturity right there, is the ability to battle late in that count. It's a 3-2 count. She fouls off 5 pitches, a 10-pitch at bat, and is able to draw the walk.
Already 2 across, 2 more on, still nobody out in the 1st inning. Morgan Bernardini now stepping up. Aaron Weekly wants to have a chat with Aaron Newer. This is always interesting for coaches. How quick do you make a change? Because this game could get away from you in the 1st inning if you're not careful.
There's so much game left. It feels wild to think that there could be, and there it appears is going to be, a pitching change here, and we've only seen 4 batters.
I don't think there's any doubt in Karen Weekly's mind that Aaron Newer has an extremely bright future ahead of her, but not the freshman's day. She makes way for Sage Margetich behind the star Elena Vaughter. So she's worked behind an elite pitcher before. I think she is probably in the direction of becoming one of those as well. But Mississippi State is hot right now. 4 batters versus 19 yesterday. Already 3 hits today. Already the same number of base runners, Aaron, because they had the walk too, and Carlin Pickens didn't walk anybody yesterday.
Yesterday for Mississippi State, it looked like they were guessing at the plate. A lot of backwards Ks, watching 3rd strike, swinging out of the zone. Too many mind games, it appeared, for Mississippi State. We saw the defensive miscues. We saw early in the game Chafin trying to settle into the circle, but the biggest area for opportunity for Mississippi State was at the plate. And we're already seeing a different version of this team, a different energy so far in the first inning.
Ooh, Margetko let that one get away. Bernardini hit by a pitch for just the second time this year. Margetko's issue last weekend at Oklahoma was walks. She had 4 walks in both of her outings in Norman. Here's the hit by pitch.
This is almost a mirror image. If you all tuned in yesterday, we saw this actually from Chafin on the Mississippi State side. She gave up a home run, gave up a hit by pitch, gave up a walk. And now we're seeing that from Tennessee. Almost identical.
Morgan Stiles 1 for 3 with the bases loaded this season. Freshman from Athens. Almost an excellent diving catch from Gabby Leach.
Man, such a tough play in the outfield. This is in no man's land. Your outfielders are playing a little bit deeper. And the diving effort from Leach, unable to glove that ball with runners in motion. I mean, just off the tip of that leather.
Still no outs. 7th batter coming up for Mississippi State, the catcher Jesse Blaine. Watches the off speed for ball 1. Big opportunity for the senior from Pike Road, Alabama. Has been really good over the last 8 games entering this series. A .384 average, a home run, a double, and has driven in 5 runs. Building off of what was a career year last year and having another one. This is into right center field. At least 2 runs will score. It's a 5-run first inning for Mississippi State. Jesse Blaine delivers 2 more.
You've got to be happy if you're Sam Ricketts. Whatever conversation she had with this team after last night's run rule loss, there is absolutely different energy in the tank for Mississippi State.
Showing bunt is the first baseman Riley Hull. Down to the 8 hole for Mississippi State. This is just the 7th time all season Tennessee has allowed 4 or more runs, and there's not an out in the game. Hit down the left field line, just foul.
I mean, I can remember in my time playing, it's like you feel that sting of a run rule loss. You know it just wasn't you. It wasn't your team. It's not how you normally play. How do you right at that wrong? You come out and do this. You punch from the first pitch.
Obviously still early, but this is a doubleheader today, though, so Mississippi State an opportunity. If they can continue down this path and even the series at 1 apiece, you've got all the momentum heading into a decisive game 3. We'll get there in a bit. And that one down the first base line. No throwback home from Gibson. And that allows the run to score from third.
This is an interesting choice from Gibson. She fields this ball. She takes the easy out. Really confused as to why there was no throw. Clear time, absolutely has time there. I don't know if Nugent unable to communicate in time that there was a play.
It's the changeup from Margetko. What are you thinking right now as a Lady Vol down C? Okay.
You know, we talk a lot and have talked a lot about the pop this year. The offensive numbers are massive for Sacco, but she's also not afraid to take a walk. She's got an extremely sharp eye. 28 walks. She leads this starting 9 in free bases. And you think about what this pitching staff so far between 2 arms have given up. 2 hit by pitches, a walk, 2 home runs, a double, 2 singles. I mean, it's been some serious collateral damage here.
Mississippi State last year welcomed Tennessee to Starkville. The Lady Vols lost the first game in run rule fashion and came back to win the series. So Mississippi State, similar start this weekend, lost the first game in run rule fashion, and they are hoping to flip the script. So far, so good in game 2. Sacco fouls that off of herself, still full count.
Sacco with 13 stolen bases as well. This is about as dynamic as you could be as far as offense goes. Sierra Sacco does it all. Bunts, slams the ball into the ground, can soft slap, can swing for power. Keep in mind, she started this offensive barrage at the start of this inning, a home run against the freshman Newer.
That's inside, ball 4. So since entering, Marjetko has hit 2 batters, has walked 1, has given up 2 base hits, and recorded the 1 out against Riley Hull, but scored a run on that play.
And Boo Gibson behind her, now stepping into the box, has been so good with protecting Sacco in that leadoff position. She knows that Sierra is not going to see a lot of stuff over the meat of the strike zone, and Nadia Barbary, not Gibson, but same thing applies. The fact that they're able to protect each other with power.
Barbary against Auburn in the SEC opener hit a grand slam to give Mississippi State the lead and earn the sweep. Looking for her 2nd of the season. That's down in the dirt, and Marjetko falls behind 3-0.
Whole defense is going to have a meeting. If I'm counting correctly, that makes 4 meetings so far here in the top of the 1st for Tennessee. Can you feel the tension? Because I can feel the tension. It feels like worry on the field. There is short breath right now for the Vols. 6 runs scored, 1 out on the board. This is the damage so far that Mississippi State has handed Tennessee.
5 hits, 2 home runs, 2 walks, 2 hit by pitches. And now Barbary digging in with a 3-0 count, and the bases loaded.
That I had this on my bingo card either. There is yet another meeting from Karen Weekly, and we will see another pitching change. 2 pitching changes here in just the top of the 1st inning.
A nightmare start for the Lady Vols in game 1 of 2 today.
Yeah, this is another freshman arm, Peyton Tanner. She also had a perfect game against Delaware State. Both of the freshmen on this pitching staff, between a no-hitter and a perfect game. There is some young talent here. There really is. But these are big moments in SEC play, and I think these young arms are still figuring out what this pressure feels like.
Tennessee fans stunned by what they've seen today, and it all started with the leadoff hitter, Sierra Sacco, the solo home run to start things off.
Yeah, this is what started and opened the floodgates for Mississippi State. Sacco, the big bopper with the bomb pull side. And it didn't stop there. Barbary from the right side, and from then on it was base hit, walk, hit by pitch, single, double. It has been a mixture of both power and taking free passes.
Did you have that much swag coming across the plate on a home run?
I have been known to play with some swagger.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like it.
I won't lie to you.
Okay.
I mean, I was very unapologetic on the dirt. Why not? Right?
Yeah,
Have
absolutely.
fun.
I love it. It's great.
Yeah.
It's great TV. Peyton Tanner, just her second SEC appearance, went 2 1/3, gave up 1 hit, walked 4, and 3 earned in her first. That is a huge cut by Kylie Edwards for strike 1.
Up in the zone, that's a rise ball that bites above the letters. You know, I got to imagine that both Marcheco and Newer will probably be back in the bullpen to work on some things. I cannot imagine Karen Weekly having to maybe go to Carlin Pickens in game 2 here.
The other option other than Pickens, Charlie Orsini, who hasn't seen action since February 28th.
Yeah, this is a rise ball, really good location from Tanner.
That one almost slipped out of her hand, it looked like.
Edwards was not happy about this call. Take a look at this location. That is literally textbook top of the strike zone.
Edwards to left field, maybe got around a little too quick. Edwards has a hit, she scored, now she has a sac fly.
Yeah, this was almost the same location, even higher. This is almost at the shoulders, and she's able to barrel this up. This is a perfectly executed sacrifice fly.
First and second, 2 outs. As the 13th batter of the top of the first inning steps to the plate, Lexi Sosa walked and scored already. Watches that pitch up top, ball 1.
Even just the pace of Peyton Tanner in the circle, she's moving quicker, her rhythm rocks fire. She's really speeding up the pace of this game for Mississippi State.
The good news for Tennessee, haven't even come to the plate yet. They scored 8 yesterday.
You got a full 7 innings ahead of you.
It just feels like such a shock to your system. A half hour into this game starting, you're still in the first inning, and you're trailing by 8 runs.
Notice freshman Ella Dodge shaded up the middle of the field. I mean, they are honoring, without a doubt, the power of Sosa, the fact that she can spread the entire line to line. Look at this lineup here. Look at this defensive alignment.
Sosa goes down looking, so Tanner finally, Bird facing a couple lefties right out of the gates with Morgan and Fiedler. Savia Morgan looking to get it going right now. Had a really good series against Arkansas, but a little bit slower last weekend. Her and Fiedler combined at Oklahoma were just 1 for 20, and they still were able to win that series. On 1 foul back, 1 and 2.
22 stolen bases on the year for Morgan. That is speed that never sleeps. It is so hard to defend a triple threat like Savia Morgan.
Started at Columbia Central High School in Columbia, Tennessee. It's just red hot out of the gates. First 20 games of the season, hit .446, stole 18 bases, but since that point, just 8 hits over the last 18 games and 6 stolen bases. Watches that low for ball 2. "30-minute almost first inning for Delaney Everett to wait to get into the circle. It was interesting with pitchers. Obviously, you want the big innings, you want to build a big lead, but just what that does to your schedule and getting ready for this game. Everett, a sophomore from Oakdale, California. 4th best ERA in the SEC, actually, as she's become the number 2 for Mississippi State, but it's a leadoff base runner in the speedster Savia Morgan.
You know, Everett's a lefty that really has the velo for this staff. Challenges up in the zone with a rise and a curveball. Very fiery competitor. As you watch her throw, you're going to see a lot of emotion, a lot of aggressiveness. She wears her facial expressions and her intensity with a lot of pride.
Only made 1 start last year's complete game, 5-inning shutout against Alcorn State. This is her 11th start of the year. Doesn't have a loss in her career. Here's Fiedler from Lee Summit, Missouri. 3 years at Washington, but a career year for Tennessee this year. The throw to first, not in time to get Morgan, but trying to keep her honest. Fouled straight back for strike 2.
I think this is an opportunity for Tennessee, who did answer that call and that challenge from Karen Weekly, to step up offensively. We mentioned the SEC numbers. They're dead last when it comes to offensive production, and we saw that change for them yesterday. A run rule victory, 8-0. Arguably easier to do when you've got a pitcher throwing a shutout.
Everett strikes out Fiedler.
What can they do, though, now with an 8-run deficit and 6 1/3 innings potentially in front of them?
How is this broken down? In that when you get back to the dugout and you're down 5+ runs, I mean, how does it get broken down by the coaches or the players?
Well, you're not going to be a hero in one swing, so it comes down to productive outs. Start to break down the game within the game. What can we do this inning? Can we at least put a number on the board this inning? We got a lot of game in front of us. We don't have to win it all right now in one swing, but we have to start taking it a bite at a time.
Hard hit grounder, chance for 2 though. Barbary over to Stiles, not going to get Panel. 2 away.
I mean, Tennessee's got their work cut out for them. Let's just call a spade here. There has to be some support offensively for their pitching staff. Probably going to see Pickens later tonight in game 2. It's a doubleheader today.
Inside corner, strike 1 to McKenna Gibson. Also gives Sam Ricketts some wiggle room with her plan. Delaney Everett in the circle. We saw Raylan Chafin all 3 games against Texas last weekend, but depending on how this unfolds, you could potentially really just save her for game 3.
Also think it's important to note that this Mississippi State team has specifically trained physically for long days. Most teams scale back. Back when I played at Oklahoma, season starts, you scale back on the weight room, you scale back on the conditioning because you're playing and you're on the road so much. Not Mississippi State. In fact, they've turned the volume up in the weight room. They are prepared physically for long days. She said that last year they had scoured some data and some numbers, and they actually noticed that their offensive production declined on long travel weeks or when they weren't in the weight room consistently.
Well, the proof is there too. This is their fourth straight weekend with a doubleheader. It's their most in a row and their most SEC doubleheaders in a single season, which is product of some weather based on where they've been, but
yeah, they're used to this.
3-2 now from Everett. Gibson stays alive.
I just got a sense in seeing, you know, Coach Sam Ricketts walk out to the outfield after that loss last night. She was fired up, as any head coach would be, right? You walk in and you get run ruled in game one. No one's happy about that. But there was a pride, I could tell, that she was evoking to this team. This is not us, right? This is not Mississippi State softball. And we have seen a totally different look here in game two.
Awkwardly foul territory. Good hustle by Blaine, but can't get there. You said it's not going to happen in one swing, but it feels like one swing could at least give you a boost, like a big momentum. Tennessee has the home run hitters, like something early.
You were going to say it, and it is a game of momentum. 100%. Boo Gibson has so much power, so much pop. We saw her flash it yesterday. She golfs this ball. She goes down and gets it, bottom of the knees, deepest part of the field. Takes her free pass here. Even a walk, Chucky. I mean, even a walk is enough to be a spark plug to start a fire for this team. It's got to be a matter of just passing the bat. Such a tough location. I would not be taking that with 2 strikes, I can tell you. I don't know where that missed.
Delaney Everett appeared to have agreed with you the way she was walking off. Now Sophia Nugent, a lot of balls though, with some life here in the bottom of the first.
There is so much leadership from Sophia Nugent this year, not just behind the plate, but offensively with her bat. What she is doing all season long with her back against the wall in tough pressure-filled situations. This is a moment that her team needed her, right? She needed to do something in this moment to try and turn the tide for Tennessee, and she steps up in a huge way. A senior leader, a transfer from Oklahoma, won 2 titles in her time in Norman, and is really putting this experience to good use here in her last season at Tennessee.
Hands the bat to Laura Mueller. Interesting, when we were talking to Karen Weekly about the offense, one of the things that she stressed was it has to be a group effort. We're missing Kiki Malloy, Riley Westergaard, those big-time bats, and they still have some star power in the order, but she said this has to be a group effort. It has to be a pass-the-bat mentality, and here we are in game 2 with a situation that certainly calls for that, down 7. Laura Mueller had 2 hits yesterday. Hoping to bring another Tennessee run across.
That's some high heat up in the zone.
A little lighter on your feet in the box after something like that. Ooh. Two 2-1 pitch. It's going to go foul.
I think at large, too, when you think about the work that Tennessee has done offensively all season, we for sure have not seen the best of Tennessee yet, at least when it comes to offense. We've seen what they can do pitching. We've seen the stellar defense, but there is room. There is still a ceiling left untapped for Tennessee bats.
Mueller swings through it. Everett strands a pair and limits the damage to just 1. It's an 8-1 lead in this top 15 matchup.
To get Chafin, much needed arm for their pitching staff. But this is a team that invests in development. Large freshman classes. They've got 8 freshmen this year. I mean, they really want to pour into the development of these young women. That is what is at the foundation of this culture.
Tough hop from Mealer, long throw. Bernardini beats it out. Infield single for her to lead off the second.
This was a very close play at first base. Heck of a grab by Laura Mealer at shortstop. Wow. Yeah, it's under review right now. Take a look at this. I think that is safe. Ruling on the field is safe. There would have to be enough evidence, completely indisputable evidence, to overturn this call.
Likely won't take Birmingham too long to make this decision. All replays in SEC conference play down at the headquarters in Birmingham. This year helped by that new Hawkeye technology that has been so good at kind of syncing looks up, giving different angles on tough calls. This one does not appear to be as tough.
After review, the ruling at first base is upheld. Runner is safe. That is Tennessee's first challenge.
Up next for the Bulldogs, second baseman, number 24, Morgan Stiles.
Zach Shaw at first base. He had it the whole way, yeah?
It's early too, man.
He had it the whole way.
I don't think the ball was hit when he had his arms out. Morgan Stiles, RBI single in her first at bat. Mississippi State picked number 12 in the SEC preseason poll. Top teams, Texas, Florida, Oklahoma. This conference is a very, very tall ask for programs trying to build up into a consistent contender. Chance for two. Turner, Tanner, quick turn, and they do roll a pair. Connecting with Mealer and on to Gibson.
A very defensive swing from Stiles. This is off the end of the bat. Looks like she just wasn't even sure if she wanted to pull the trigger here. And that is a textbook double play for Tennessee. Part of the momentum, right? We've talked about the offensive spark plugs that can happen with the bats, but they can happen on defense too.
They scored their 8 runs in 2 innings yesterday. 3 in the first, 5 in the 5th to walk it off early. So they can score in bunches. Now Jesse Blaine with 2 outs watches it in the dirt for ball 1. Blaine's second year at Mississippi State. Played her first 2 seasons at Auburn, made 86 starts in 2 years there. Her sister Emma plays volleyball at Troy. Part of a military family, so she ended up moving around a little bit in high school, attended 4 different high schools.
You know, Blaine's really stepped up this season with Ella suffering a concussion earlier this year. Stepped in behind the plate, really answered the call for Mississippi State. Had to change a lot of her stance in receiving, had to scoot closer to home plate when receiving pitchers just to catch that ball, frame that ball before it was out of the zone.
That's Emma Clark behind the plate now for Tennessee, who is begging for that strike call.
Yeah, this is an off speed from Tanner. Again, if you go from the textbook there, that's a strike. Top of the strike zone, letters high.
Now a full count, trying to avoid another free pass, which Tennessee has given plenty of early in this game, whether it's been walks or hit by pitches. 8th pitch of the at-bat coming up. Another foul ball.
You know, Blaine is an offensive prowess that really relies on data, relies on hitting technology. I think that that's something that her and associate head coach Tyler Bratton work well together, is just breaking apart the fundamentals of her swing.
Ground ball right side, picked up over there by Dodge. And that's going to do it. It was a leadoff single, but a double play makes that essentially a 1-2-3 inning for Peyton Tanner. Lady Vols up next in the bottom of the 2nd. Welcome back to SEC Softball, presented by Sprouts Farmers Market. Another perfect day for softball in Knoxville, Tennessee. Let's take a look elsewhere, though, around the conference. Texas A&M takes game 1 over number 16, Georgia. Grand slam in the 1st inning, setting the tone. South Carolina evens the series with a walk-off win over Ole Miss. So that series now tied at a game apiece. And then Auburn wins their first SEC game of the season. They had a tremendous start to the year in the non-conference. They were number 1 in the first edition of the RPI that got released. And then it actually all kind of started to fall apart in Starkville in their SEC opener against Mississippi State, where they were swept.
It's kind of been a wild weekend so far in conference play.
How much were you aware of as a player? Like, as far as, like, did you know who you were even playing the next weekend?
Oh, yeah, for sure, for sure. I thought you meant like the landscape in its entirety. Yeah, I feel like there were times where I was caught in my own kind of echo chamber, and then occasionally I'd pull my head up and check in on what the world was doing. We were not the only run rule yesterday. LSU run ruling Alabama 8-0. UCLA beating ranked Ohio State yesterday as well. Then obviously our 8-0 victory for Tennessee.
Into right field, Sells running on. There's one away as they retire Emma Clark. Going through Karen Weekly's mind right now.
We'll get a chance to talk to her.
A 9-hole Gabby Leach takes strike 1. Ooh, that was upstairs, a little scary for Leach. Delaney Everett has proven all year, and certainly again today, she is not afraid to challenge hitters inside part of the plate.
Especially at 70 miles an hour.
Ball 2 for Leach, who we've seen the defense shown off the last couple weekends. And often the arm for Leach. We saw it yesterday in a moment that the runner didn't go, but from right field threw an absolute laser. To the third baseman.
The whole crowd, right? The entire stadium started to kind of ooh and ah at that throw. It was that impressive.
I liked what you said. It was kind of a warning, a little advertisement. This is what we got here.
Don't run on me, I dare ya.
2-2, swings through it. Everett Rowland retired 4 straight. That's her 3rd strikeout through 2 innings. Mississippi State in firm control of game 2. And Sacco fits this kind of culture at Mississippi State so well too. Somebody who was overlooked in high school, barely had any offers, immediately started Louisiana Tech. But when you talk to Sam Ricketts about the program, you get the feeling little chip on the shoulder from this group and this program as a whole. Feel like they've been overlooked a little bit. Had that great run to the Supers in 2022, and in some ways they almost like that role, I feel like.
Yeah, actually had a chance to call that Super Regional in Starkville, playing Arizona. Actually, her assistant coach Taryn Mowat McKinney was the pitching coach there at Arizona at that time. Made her way over to Mississippi State, now in her 2nd season in the Maroon.
She's been a great addition. This is a good relief outing so far for Peyton Tanner. Giving up just one hit in 7 batters faced. Trying to go 1, 2, 3 here and retire 5 in a row. Single she did allow ended up getting erased by a double play on the next batter. Sacco, the home run and the walk today as Tanner goes up top and misses for ball 2. Numbers just look like video game stuff. Almost hitting 500. Leads in more than 10 offensive categories for the Bulldogs. Started her career with a Conference USA Freshman of the Year award. Gotta think she's in the running for SEC Player of the Year this year.
That was her 30th walk of the season. Again, we've talked a ton about her offensive production, but you have to give credit to an athlete that's not afraid to take the free bag, especially in the leadoff position.
She's stolen 13 bases as Nadia Barbary takes strike 1. Softly into center field. Fiedler coming over and pops out of her glove, and Sacco is on to third. Almost. She's stolen 13 bases as Nadia Barbary takes strike 1. Softly into center field. Fiedler coming over and pops out of her glove, and Sacco is on to third. Almost a tremendous full layout catch from Kinsey Fiedler.
You know, this was off the end of the bat for Barbary. But how about the base running of Sacco? This is happening right in front of her. She sees the miscatch and immediately turns on the wheels to gain an extra 60 feet. Chucky, you know me, I love to talk hitting, but I also love to shine a light on base running. I think it is the most underrepresented portion of our game that can make or break a win or a loss.
Now Kylie Edwards trying to make it count with Sacco just 60 feet from home.
So many athletes, I think, with 2 outs, they see that diving body and they put it in cruise control, but Sacco kept the foot on the gas.
Kind of the only gear she has is
Yeah. All gas, no brakes.
Kylie Edwards fouls it into the netting down the left field line. Second-year starter as a sophomore from Waldron, Indiana. Top 10 ranked infielder in the recruiting class last year. Also a really great basketball player. She's the Shelbyville High School all-time leading scorer, dropped 45 in a game.
Wow.
Could you hoop?
Oh my gosh, no.
Okay.
No. I could defend. I could not shoot. To this day, I cannot do it. My parents have a basketball goal in the front of their house, and I embarrass myself all the time trying to shoot hoops. Can you? Did you hoop? Did you try to hoop?
Enough, yeah. A little, like, yeah. Small school. That's what I'll say. Edwards lays into this.
And that diving attempt from Fiedler in center field stings a little bit harder here. 2 outs, such a great swing. This is right in the power alley of Edwards. Too sweet over the strike zone. And a 2-out double for a couple ribbies.
Sosa took a monster cut there, but didn't square it up, so it's probably the best possible response you could have ever hoped for if you're a Mississippi State coach, player, fan. Still a little bit of work to do to make sure they secure this one, but a 9-run cushion for Delaney Everett, the sophomore left-hander from California. And she's back to the top of the order facing Savia Morgan. Morgan swings through that pitch for strike 2. Mentioned Taryn Mowat-McKinney in that region, that super regional against Mississippi State and Starkville on the other side of things. But you look at this pitching staff, Delaney Everett and Raylan Chafin, the 1-2 punch this year. Year 2 for Taryn Mowat-McKinney. This is their best ERA since 2018 right now. Last year it was their best opponent batting average since 2018. Sam Ricketts and Taryn have a great relationship. They played together in their college days, and then Sam said when Taryn was a professional with the Akron Racers, she actually pulled her out of retirement as a catcher. So she hasn't caught since her freshman year at Oklahoma. And there they are, side by side.
And they work so well together.
Back to Everett. 1 out, no. It gets away from Hull at first base. And Morgan is into second.
This is one of those athletes that you just do everything you possibly can to keep off the base paths. With 22 stolen bases on the year, this appeared to be and what should have been a routine out. This is an errant throw from Everett in the circle, too low at the heels, and Hull unable to glove this ball.
A little bit of heat on it, and it just, Hull not able to react quick enough to the low throw. So now Morgan on second base for Fiedler.
Fiedler with the big bomb yesterday, a 3-for-4 day for the 2-hole.
They would love a swing like that to at least get back what they gave up in the 3rd inning.
She had 4 RBIs in game 1. She's about as red hot as it gets. And now you've got the speedster in scoring position.
Popped up, Fiedler lost it for a second. She was kind of chasing it down the first base line.
You know, this can be one of those moments too for Everett. The throwing error to first base. You've also, you know, you've got the big bat of Fiedler. You can maybe get caught up in the micro pressure of this moment and lose sight that you have a 9-run lead. There's no need to press here.
She's facing Fiedler. Panels next. That's Tennessee's best 2 batters against left-handed pitching. Fiedler hitting .400 on the year against lefties. Panel hitting .538. Takes it, strike 3. And strikeout number 4 on the afternoon for Everett.
Well, and 2 of those against Fiedler. Just a very different day for Kenzie Fiedler at the plate. 2 back-to-back strikeouts. This one looking too close to take. You gotta know that if you're Fiedler.
Everett already tying a season high with 4 strikeouts. Her career high is 7. Now facing Panel. And This is Tennessee as a group against lefties, a much different story, 60 points lower, but Panel has been one that has just shredded left-handed pitching. And another base hit, that'll make it first and third with just one away.
Well, then you make way for Boo Gibson. Less than an out on the board. You got an opportunity here to continue to chip away with an RBI standing on third base.
Gibson's come to the plate 4 times in the series. She has reached every time. 2 walks, a hit by pitch, and a solo home run. Takes strike 1 on the outside corner.
And Everett has been trying to establish that outer corner against righties all day.
Let's talk about pitchers feeling out the zone. Is that similar for a hitter? You try?
Oh, sure, yeah. You're figuring out what you can get away with, how wide that zone is going to be, or how tight that zone is going to be. But for Everett in the circle, trying to get that outer corner against righties, she just has not gotten that call.
Head of Gibson 0-2. Gibson protecting with that swing.
I mean, these are 3 pitches that have been, I believe, in the same location. She gets one of them called a ball. You get the swing attempt from Boo Gibson. I don't know why we haven't seen a little bit more off speed from Everett. I know she has that. That's something that we know she's established with Taryn, pitching coach here at Mississippi State. That was her marquee pitch back when she threw at Arizona. But we haven't seen a lot of that from Everett.
See a lot of it from Raylan Chafin. Talk about how hard Everett throws. Of course, Carlin Pickens on the Tennessee side. We were talking before the game. Felt like almost it was the off speed from Pickens that had Mississippi State more off balance yesterday. 1-2. And her 8th of the season.
And this is just like textbook high IQ hitting. Everett lived on the outer corner this entire at-bat against McKenna Gibson. She sits on this pitch, she has a game plan for this pitch, and she takes it up the middle of this field. I think that cleared the bleachers.
Plenty of fight left in this Lady Vols team. They've cut the lead down to 6. Still a lot of softball to be played.
Boo Gibson, I think the thing that makes her so dangerous for Tennessee is the fact that she never lets the game get bigger than it needs to be. She never gets too jacked up in a big moment. And right there, out on the board, you got an opportunity to chip away at this deficit, and she just stays calm.
This inning started with the error on Everett's throw to first base. Saw it yesterday in the first inning. An error kicked off a 3-run first for Tennessee. This is flied out to center. Nugent retired.
Yeah, both of these teams have done a really good job at taking what they're given. If they're given an inch, they're going to run with it a mile. We saw that yesterday with some miscues defensively for Mississippi State. And then today, both of these squads have been able to capitalize on errant throws or miscues on the field.
Laura Mueller at the plate. 6 through 9 in the order for Tennessee. 0 for 4 their first time through. Mueller struck out. Chopped up and out of play for strike 2 as Everett searching for her 5th strikeout, which would be a season high. It's a beautiful day in Knoxville, Tennessee. Lady Vol faithful hoping their team can turn it around in game 2, but still one more game to be played after this one.
The biggest change for Everett from her freshman year to her sophomore year has really been the movement. I think last year it was mostly just that velocity. She's a 70-mile-an-hour lefty arm, that rise curve break. But she was throwing through that movement a lot.
Wow, Barbary. Did she? Yes, she did. Nadia Barbary, absolute robbery over a third.
For both of these teams, but it's going to take at-bats like that from a leader in Boo Gibson and the rest of this squad to come back from a 6-run deficit.
We just had a special visitor in the booth, Ralph Weekly, the longtime co-head coach with Karen Weekly. His wife just came in and said hi to us, so a pleasant surprise there. I asked Karen last week how many conversations at home drift towards softball, and she said they especially do when we don't play well.
Of course. What a legendary duo between Karen Weekly and Ralph Weekly. Historic coaches within our game. What they have done here in Knoxville has been one for the history books.
This is her 4th year since her husband retired. We'll talk to Karen Weekly in the next half inning. There's a half-hearted effort by Bernardini, and she goes down on strike. 2nd strikeout for Peyton Tanner. We'll talk to Karen Weekly, see how she's feeling about this response from the Lady Vols.
25 years, 6 SEC titles, over 1,300 wins. A lot of experience between her and Ralph.
She said this is the first senior class that Ralph Weekly recruited at Tennessee but never coached, and she was talking to some of them a couple weeks ago and just said, I really wish you would have had the opportunity to play for him. Just could not speak higher of his leadership. Just said he built winners wherever he went. As there's the pop out of Morgan Stiles, and 2 up, 2 down for Tanner.
I had a chance to talk with Karen Weekly about, I mean, all the teams she's coached, all the All-Americans, the athletes, the pro players that have gone on to extend their career. What does this team have that maybe is unique? She said, this team reminds me of my 2015 team in the best way possible. The fact that there's no one player that's carrying the load. All of the straws are stirring the drink. And she thinks that's why this team is going to achieve so much greatness.
Their last Women's College World Series in 2023. They went to the Women's College World Series final in 2013, and you know a little something about that, making sure the title stayed away from Tennessee, winning that with Oklahoma. And that really both teams, we did a piece on it this weekend in Norman, but those rosters in that 2013 Women's College World Series final they were unbelievable.
Truly epic teams.
8 of them for Tennessee, still searching for that national championship.
Yeah, I mean, we had a really honest conversation with her yesterday morning. I had asked her if this team even knows how good they are. It feels like they've got all the makings to potentially be a national championship contender. She was honest. She said, I don't know that they know how good they are. And that's not a great thing. She wants this team to really step into their talent, to believe in the tools that they have. She said it was really good to be in Norman last weekend. That bounce back after dropping 2 to Arkansas, that was a wake-up call for them, and to step into Love's Field a very hostile environment. You were there, Chucky. You got to feel it. It's electric. That was a big moment for this team. A big aha moment.
For people who have not been to Loves, but maybe have been to the Women's College World Series, comparable from an atmosphere standpoint?
It's pretty rowdy. It's pretty rowdy. And the fact that the Women's College World Series, those are a lot of just softball fans, or they're fans of other teams within the tournament, but you step into a Loves field, you're surrounded by thousands of fans rooting against you.
Hole puts a good swing on it. Right to Fiedler. Tanner faces.
Notice there was no panic. There was just straight calm confidence, very sure of her group. I think at times when you have a game in a situation like this, a coach can be a little bit on eggshells, pins and needles, hoping that her team can turn it around, but there was 100% confidence in that conversation from Karen Weekly.
She's seen it all, and part of what she said was, this is the SEC, this stuff is going to happen every once in a while. It's Clark, like that hit the knob of the bat.
Yeah, we see the foul ball call.
Let's see here.
But Clark wanting the hit by pitch there. It does look like that does hit the end of the knob.
There was no sell either. The freshman, she'll, you know,
you gotta have the salesmanship.
Next year, she's tossing the bat and running instantly.
You gotta have the drama.
The West Rowan High School won a state championship in basketball in 2023. You could put together a pretty good basketball team based on these two rosters. You would not be included based on what we've been told.
I would not be on that roster. Nope, softball was it for me.
Great teammate though, great locker room presence.
Sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Professional hype girl.
3-2 count for Everett. Outside corner. Clark was trying to take first on that one. That's strikeout number 5 for Delaney Everett.
And she has been clawing and fighting for this call for the past 3 1/3 innings. Finally gets it on the outer half. This is a curveball that stays away. Again, a lefty trying to establish that outer corner against righties. And finally gets the punch out on it.
Delaney Everett had a tough start to the season. 2 weeks before opening day, lost her father unexpectedly. Sam Ricketts said, still obviously navigating that. It was really tough on her physically, mentally, took its toll. Said she's felt the love, though, from their program and really everyone around Mississippi State as she's dealt with it. So she went home for just under 2 weeks, and then she flew straight to Clearwater to be with the team. So that was a conversation early on. They didn't want to rush her back too fast. Sam Ricketts said, you know, one day she kind of came to her and said, all right, I'm ready to go, and has had a tremendous season, really stepping in as the number 2 arm behind Raylan Chafin, and looks like she has a very bright future ahead of her.
Yeah, her dad was a highway patrolman, and she wears his badge every time she takes the field.
His badge number on her towel.
Now you can see it just on the bottom edge of that towel.
That is strikeout number 6 for Everett. Said her dad coached her and her sister. She's the oldest of 4 girls, coached her all of her life. The other players also wear that badge number in certain spots.
Yeah, stickers on the helmet, stickers on the visor, but just a heartbreaking moment for Everett, and this team really wrapped her in support and love.
Big swing from Leach as Everett is looking to strike out the side.
You know, Sam Ricketts too said that we gave her all the space in the world. It's a huge weight to carry and move through mentally. And there's days where she has tough days, and we have established a very open line of communication that when she is feeling a little heavy, that we give her that support and we give her the room to breathe and move through it. And when she's ready to grab that ball and step back in the circle, she does.
1-2, did Leach go? They will appeal it, and she did. Delaney Everett strikes out the side and matches the SEC guaranteed to have a team in the national championship in the women's and the men's. Auburn or Florida on one side, South Carolina or Texas in the women's side. A great year for just star power in college basketball across the country, especially in the women's game. Paige Beckers,
oh my gosh,
is an absolute stud.
Wild.
Of course, the most disappointing thing I think we saw in the postseason, Juju Watkins going down with a knee injury and not able to play for USC, and certainly probably changed the complexion of that tournament. Down to the final 8 teams between the men and women's. Hard hit ball down the left field line from Kiara Sells, foul. Down 1-2. You talked about it with Karen Weekly. How big is this for these young pitchers? Peyton Tanner taking full advantage right now against a great lineup in Mississippi State.
If this team is gonna do what they're expected to do, which is make a very late run, especially through the Women's College World Series, you know who they're gonna need? They're gonna need these young arms. They're gonna need Newer, a freshman. They're gonna need Tanner in the circle, also a freshman, and Marjeko, a sophomore.
They have 5 arms on the staff. There's 2 freshmen, 2 juniors, and a sophomore. So all of them, of course, you never know with the transfer portal, but they've done a good job retaining their top players here at Tennessee, and you would imagine everybody comes back. Tanner today, 3 2/3, 3 hits, a couple runs, but it's been really great overall. Right center field, carrying a little bit. In comes Fiedler. Oh, we were talking Final Fours. How about just dynasties? South Carolina women's basketball and Oklahoma softball since 2021. OU, of course, has won the last 4 titles. South Carolina trying to make it 3 since 2021.
That record. What? That is just wild. Since 2021.
I think, too, about game changers as head coaches, Don Staley and Patty Gasso. The contracts reflect that. I mean, they have really set the bar.
I think I heard from a little bird that those two keep in touch. And when you live in that world with that level of success, that, again, the word dynasty not used lightly there, not many people understand what that weight and that pressure is like. Those two do, and I believe they chat.
Can we get a little insight into the Oklahoma setup? What makes Patty Gasso so special?
Oh my gosh, I could write a dissertation on what makes her so incredible. She has a true understanding of blue-collar work ethic. You've heard this, that championship mindset. That is what Oklahoma hangs their hat on. And she really lives that. It's not just in the way she leads her program. It's the way she raises her children. It's the way she now is a grandmother to grandbabies. It's the way she operates now as a mentor to me and so many of our alumni as grown women. She's just a champion. Champions young women, loves to shed light for opportunities for women working in sports and beyond. Takes all the opportunities she can. Sam Ricketts, one of those, right? Having played for Patty Gasso, I know they keep in touch as well. It was funny, I asked her when we had a chance to chat with Sam Ricketts coming into this weekend. I said, did you get a chance to chat with Patty about what you may see with Tennessee? She said, we can't now because we're in the same conference. We can't chat the way we used to.
Yes, and two-time All-American for Patty Gasso at Oklahoma, and then coached there 2 years as a GA as well.
Sister Kalani Ricketts was also a pitcher there. We actually played a year together.
Kalani's still playing. He's had a long, successful career, also coaching. Tennessee trying to make sure nothing else gets across the board. Give themselves an opportunity with 3 innings to play and down 6 runs. But a dangerous part of the order. Sacco on first, Barbary at the plate. Tanner jumps ahead of Barbary 0-2. Missouri, Texas coming up next from Columbia.
Arkansas and Florida all tied up at 6 apiece in the top of the 5th. Arkansas had that upset yesterday.
Barbary goes down swinging. Strikeout number 3 for Tanner.
Yeah, Tanner starting to, again, establish that off-speed pitch. So impressive from this freshman arm. Again, pitching with her back against the wall, a 6-run deficit for Tennessee, and she is pitching lights out.
Starts off Kylie Edwards with strike 1. The 3rd time Edwards has seen Tanner a sac fly to drive in a run, and then that 2 RBI double that went off the wall back in the 3rd. Jumps ahead 0-2. Sacco running. It was a great throw, but Ella Dodge couldn't hold on to it at second base.
No, this has been a trend for Tennessee. This is something that Karen Weekly spoke to us about, the fact that behind the plate, Clark has had a ton of money throws down to second, but Ella Dodge, a freshman, has struggled to position herself to receive those throws, and they have missed outs because of it. One right here.
See if it hurts them as Tanner delivers ball 2. Sacco closing in on 100 stolen bases in her career. That was number 97 and her 14th of the year. Mississippi State 3 for 6 with runners in scoring position. Long run here and tracked down nicely by Ella Dodge for out number 3. So they strand a runner on the base pass, but the Lady Vols need to crawl a little closer, still trailing by 6. Strikeout, struck out the side in the 4th inning. Back to the top of the order, Savia Morgan, beautiful bunt out in front of the plate for a leadoff single off the new pitcher, Lexi Sosa, who has been in the DP spot in this game. Sosa from San Diego, California on the season. 28 innings pitched, a 3.0 ERA and a 3-0 record.
A graduate senior. Mentioned her age, 23 years old, one of the most seasoned, experienced athletes on this staff. You know, she's got a very similar look and approach to Raylan Chafin, who we saw yesterday. She got the start in game 1. There's just a little bit less velo from Sosa, so more movement, a little bit more deceptiveness with the off speed.
Delaney Everett, part of the reason, potentially, obviously you're going back through the order for the 3rd time. She's also been dealing with a little bit of a nagging injury this year, so they've played it safe with her pitch count. Fiedler right side. They'll get the lead runner going to second for out number 1. One swing from McKenna Gibson in this game was Tennessee's big spark, but for the most part, Mississippi State hasn't even put themselves in those positions. I mean, that was one of the only big opportunities in this game. Second and fourth inning, they went 1, 2, 3 through the order.
You've seen Blaine throw down to first base a couple of times now. She's got such a quick release, quick whip behind the plate. Excuse me, that is Wesolowski now behind the plate at change.
I did the same thing yesterday, and part of it is because they have so many of the same.
Yeah, their mannerisms. Yes, I agree.
They both have great arms. You see that snap throw from both of them. Popped up on the infield. Sosa looking for Barbary to come in and make the catch. Just like a couple of veterans out there, because I saw a play like that in a different game this year where it was more freshman, sophomore involved, and everyone's kind of looking around. They're both going for it.
Yeah.
But Lexi Sosa never thought about that ball.
No.
She just looked for somebody.
Yeah, so much of that comes from that command with the voice, especially from your fellow infielders, of knowing who's going to take charge on this ball.
Gibson loved to put another dent in the scoreboard. A little late to that pitch for strike 2. Has reached all 5 times she has come to the plate. Just 2 hits in the first 2 games, but they both left the yard. Gibson looking for her 3rd consecutive All-SEC first-team nod, and that is into right field. She has reached all 6 plate appearances in this series. Just gets back in to first base safely to set it up 1st and 3rd with 2 away. You cannot get her out right now.
You know, we broke down that pitch sequence from her home run at bat. This is the exact same pitch. This is away. It's about a half a ball out of the strike zone, and she's able to throw the barrel at this pitch, the end of the bat, to find the green. A good hitter can hit bad pitches well, and that is Boo Gibson.
She will get a runner for Amanda Allin, a junior from Bamberg, South Carolina. Sophia Nugent. Some big swings this year. Tennessee wants to get back in this game. This is a crucial at bat here in the bottom of the 5th. Running out of outs. Takes pitch 1 upstairs. Nugent from Seal Beach, California. 18 starts as a sophomore at Oklahoma in 2023. Hit 7 home runs, drove in 23 runs before transferring to Tennessee last year. He's got the new eye paint today too. Yesterday it was almost looked like a baseball, but today just going with the Tennessee colors.
Sosa flashing that off speed, misses outside. You could see the hiccup in the lower body of Nugent trying to time up that pitch.
2-1 from Sosa. If you had to guess game 3, rematch in the circle, Pickens and Chafin.
I would love to see it.
Give the people what they want.
Give the people what they want.
Nugent just fighting pitches off right now.
Sosa's doing such a good job at keeping Tennessee off balance, either out front. You could even see that base hit from Boo Gibson was off the end of the bat.
Another 2-2 opportunity. Outside corner, and Sosa wanted it, did not get it. Full count.
It's a competitive pitch. It is off the plate. It's about a ball outside of the strike zone, if not a ball and a half.
Nugent off the handle right to Barbary, and that'll do it for the 5th inning. A little bit of danger there for 1-0.
I should say, what will the first inning of Game 3 bring?
It feels like there's pressure, even more so, to get off to a good start based on the way these first two have gone so far. Still 2 frames to play, though. Lexi Sosa now at the plate, trying to give herself a little insurance. Falls behind 0-2 to Peyton Tanner. Rolled that one in to Emma Clark behind the plate. Sosa deep to left field and does help herself out. The first hit off Tanner since the 3rd inning.
Yeah, Tanner has been really efficient, very concise with pitch locations. And against a veteran senior, this is not a bad pitch, but there is just so much experience in Lexi Sosa's bat. She's able to throw the barrel down low at the knees here to send this ball out of the yard. And now Mississippi State, again, is within run rule territory. If they put up a run on the board and snag 3 outs, they could get out of Game 2 here early.
Return the favor from what Tennessee did to them last night in that 8-0 5-inning victory. Nobody out for Morgan Bernardini, who re-enters for Kaylani Sells, who replaced her in left field. Don't forget, #1 Texas on the road at Missouri. That's going to start over on the app with Mark Neely and Danielle Laurie. We'll get you there at the conclusion of this one. Bernardini lines out to Fiedler. Missouri has done it once in the last couple weeks, knocking off #1 in their own building, so they get another opportunity today in Columbia. Beat #1 Oklahoma on a very special day. They had over 80 alumni in the building when they knocked off the Sooners, but Oklahoma did take that series. Just wonder what the loss total will be for the winner in the SEC this year. There's some big series still to come up. Oklahoma still plays Florida and Texas this year.
You know those are going to be wild. The action of those 2 series are going to be nuts. I mean, the OU Texas rematches of the Women's College World Series. Florida obviously has made a lot of noise so far this year. They're consistently year over year just so talented. There's also a coaching tree history there between Tim Walton and Patty Gasso, having coached together. Tim Walton playing baseball, winning a national championship at Oklahoma.
Of course, Jen Rocha, the pitching coach for OU. Florida winning their back-to-back national titles in 2014 and 2015 with Rocha on staff. And then, of course, the 4 straight for Oklahoma. One of the best pitching coaches in the nation. We're in that run rule territory.
This has just been a wild 2 games together, Chucky. The first game being a bingo card full of illegal pitch calls and replays and base running woes, defensive errors. Today, it's been a bingo card of offense for both of these teams. Mississippi State has looked like a completely different squad than game 1. Tennessee slowly trying to chip away. This is now 2 innings for Mississippi State with multiple home runs.
See if they can carry the momentum into game 3. They had just 4 hits yesterday, and they were all 4 singles. 10 hits today. They've hit 4 home runs. Edwards had a double. Even when they haven't been ripping it, such competitive at bats. Panel, nice job at third base, and then the scoop by Gibson to finish it off. Hot corner seeing some action today for both teams.
You know, this would be a play that would be easy to give up on after the bobble, but the fact that Panel stayed with it, she took the throw from the knees, figured out a way to stay athletic even with the bobble. And then you got Boo Gibson at first base that helps finish out that out.
Here is one of the best pinch hitters for Mississippi State stepping in, the freshman Paige Ernstis, native of Indiana. Had the walk-off pinch hit RBI double against Texas. 8 for 18 as a pinch hitter on the year. Takes strike 1. You probably didn't pinch hit a ton in your career, but what's the psychology of this role?
I did my freshman season.
Okay.
I mean, it's one of those things where if you're clocked into the game, all game, even in the dugout on the bench, you should be well informed finally getting this call, getting this opportunity. If Ernstis is seeing what's happening in front of her, she knows she's going to see a changeup. There it is, right on cue. You know you're going to see something up in the zone hard, right? We've seen Tanner miss high. That chin music we've seen a couple times from her. So there should be a game plan for Ernstis here, stepping in, getting a pinch hit opportunity.
That one was up in the zone, but out on the end of the bat to the shortstop Laura Mueller leads things off. She was robbed by Barbary her last at bat, and she is hit by the pitch by Sosa. Or no, she is being called back now. Karen Weekly, I believe, is going to ask for an explanation.
She is not happy about this call. See if we can get a look at this here. So take a look at the stance. I mean, the fact.
Dead ball. Tennessee is challenging that ruling. Previous plays under further review.
The fact that Laura Mueller is towing the line, there is barely a white line there, a chalk line for the right-hander's batter's box. But look how close the knee, the elbow, she's hanging over. Her body is over into the strike zone. I believe that is what our home plate umpire is probably seeing here. He's got a great vantage point behind the plate. He sees where this ball is thrown. He sees where contact is made. And if Mueller is leaning over into the strike zone, I mean, that is the pitcher's territory.
Our second review of the day. Tennessee with a challenge earlier that was unsuccessful, and Karen Weekly deciding to use her second one here. Anything at this point, too, at the umpire's discretion, is reviewable after the 6th inning.
Now, the first thing I was looking for is if it was a bat or an elbow, or if there was actually contact made, and there was. It was the elbow that made contact for Mueller.
That elbow guard.
The ruling of a dead ball is upheld. The count is 1-0.
Yeah, I do think that's the right call. Again, upon looking at that replay footage, it appears that the elbow is over into the strike zone.
Still a ball on the batter, but doesn't get first base. There is strike one from Sosa. Almost looked like, too, when she first sets, she's okay, but when she kind of gets into the load, then
she kind of leans over.
Which is ball one outside, 2-1 count to Mueller. Most runs that Mississippi State has scored against Tennessee since 2001, when they scored 13, second most ever. Popped up on the infield, and that was awkward at the end of it by Styles, but still makes the catch, one out. Don't forget Missouri, Texas at the conclusion of this one, which could potentially be at the end of this 6th inning, barring a Tennessee run. #1 team in the nation on display in Columbia, Missouri, fighting for wins right now to try to stay above 500. Their RPI rank is good. Their record is struggling right now, in part because they've played the 11th toughest strength of schedule. Their non-conference was an absolute grind.
Some drama in Athens as Texas A&M and Georgia are tied up in the 3rd.
Still a lot of great softball going on right now, and still to come tonight.
Still got a tie ball game, too, between the Gators and the Razorbacks. 6-6, knotted in the 6th inning. We got a lot of softball we're going to have to turn on.
And Arkansas took game one of that series, too.
Yeah. Arkansas has rattled some cages so far during SEC play. One of those cages was Tennessee, took 2 from the Vols.
That was kind of looking like maybe a wake-up for this Tennessee team when they dropped 2 of 3 at Sherry Parker Lee Stadium 2 weeks ago to Arkansas. And then they go on the road and they beat Oklahoma twice, come back here with a really impressive Game 1 win over Mississippi State. Looking likely this is going to come down to Game 3 to decide the series. Popped up, and that is going to be playable for Hull. 2 outs.
I knew that these two teams were gonna really have a lot of competitive nature this weekend. I just didn't think that we would see it in this type of form. A run rule victory that swings in favor of Tennessee in Game 1, and we're 1 out away from the flip side of that script being that Mississippi State has the run rule in Game 2.
Pinch hitter for Tennessee is the junior from Live Oak, Texas, Destiny Rodriguez, hitting .361 on the year. First pitch from Sosa, strike 1. Big thank you to our crew here in Knoxville, Tom Schofield, Tyler Honeycutt, our graphics producer, Lauren Nilsson. My partner, Aaron Miller. I'm Chucky Kemp. Thanks for joining us these last couple games between these two fantastic programs. It has been a very bizarre series to this point, and we'll have our eye on Game 3. That one will be about 40 minutes after the conclusion of this game over on SEC Network Plus. 1-1 to Rodriguez. It's softly into left field to keep this one alive. Her 14th hit of the season. She's played a lot of softball for Tennessee this year. 23 games played. It's her 24th appearance. Made 13 starts as well. And we'll have a runner over there. Ella Dodge re-enters at first base. You're also going to see the power bat of Amaya Doyle step to the plate. A few home runs on the year for her. Doyle pinch hitting for Gabby Leach in the 9-hole.
Now Doyle had the start yesterday in the 8-hole, couple Ks, fielder's choice.
Takes strike one from Sosa.